So fighting continues against ISIS. The city of Kobani in Syria is about to fall. The Turks are not taking action, even as they've promised to move against ISIS. And, plenty of people are obviously questioning President Obama's strategy, both from the left, from the right. I think, as usual, he's attempting to kind of synthesize, and the results in this case are really, really muddled and problematic. And I do think, regardless of having a massive unstrategic air campaign, which I oppose over there, supporting the Kurds is absolutely essential in this situation. Fox and Friends, with their brilliant strategic minds, got together, and SNL does a really good Fox and Friends bit, and sometimes it's a hard bit to do, because when something is that stupid, how do you parody it? And sometimes Fox and Friends lives up to their own stupidity so fully and so deeply, and Brian Kilmeade did that recently on Fox and Friends. They're talking about airstrikes on ISIS, the need for troops on the ground, and they're all having at it. And then Kilmeade, even for them, just like in the Saturday Night Live sketch, takes it a little too far. Let's listen to that clip.
Right, and so in it, he asked point blank the questions that a lot of people are wondering about this dialogue. Are we sending mixed messages? What's the next step? Do we need boots on the ground? So Leon Panetta agrees, look, we need boots on the ground.
Pause.
Dempsey says... Sure.
It would be so tempting if I was on set while Elizabeth Hasselbeck was talking to just be like, Ebola! I think that cameraman looks sick. All right, go ahead. Play it.
Kobani's about to fall. We actually had the opportunity today to speak with Rear Admiral General Kirby, and he actually said prior to the meeting that he's about to have with the President of the United States today, as he pops in between fundraisers, whether or not he will be open to boots on the ground.
Pause. Just notice that little shot at the president fundraising. Like, yes, of course, President Obama is the only major U.S. politician that fundraises. Of course. Very unique to him.
All right, so now we're going to skip ahead in the clip.
They've played General Kirby talking, and now they're back on the other side of his sound.
Best forces are indigenous forces, people that live there, know the terrain, know the culture.
Sure, have the local people be the boots on the ground. Unfortunately, we're just not getting any help right now.
There are no local people. We have to take a year to train 5,000. He's saying, if I had my druthers, I would do it differently. But the commander-in-chief told me to do it this way, so therefore, whatever...
That's fascinating, because Brian Kilmeade just said something right, totally wrong, and insane in 20 seconds. He actually did say that our training of Iraqi security forces, which is what I think he was trying to say, have been a failure. Kudos to him. He's actually right. That was the most effective his synapses have ever fired. Then he said there's no indigenous forces on the ground, while Kurdish forces are fighting for their lives to save themselves from mass slaughter from these people. And they're fighting with absolutely everything they have, even as Turkey continues to undermine them. And also, there's other indigenous forces on the ground that they probably don't want to mention who might be affiliated with, like, the Iranians. And then it all flips to, let's just fully reinvade Iraq and maybe Syria while we're at it. So, at the very least, give them a threefer. All right, let's finish the clip.
Happens, not my fault.
Sure. You know what's curious about the books that have come out is it's pretty clear that in this administration, the President of the United States ultimately decides what to do. But we've heard from Gates, and now we've heard...
Wait, just in this administration? Really? Wow, it's never before been done. Wow.
From Panetta, they've given him great advice, and he doesn't take it. So you got to figure, if you're them and you're sitting in the meeting and you make the case, and Hillary Clinton had a book that came out too, you make the case why you should do certain things a certain way, and then he says, no, we're not going to do it that way. You just got to figure they're sitting around the table going, not again.
Why do they sit around the table, Steve? They should put their stars down and walk out.
Well, fear that America will be weaker after this administration.
It's better to have them trying to convince him the right thing to do. Panetta said last night to Bill O'Reilly, one of the problems with all of these mistakes is it's sending mixed messages to the whole world.
All right, so just have to say there, do you
Wow.
notice how Brian Kilmeade basically is saying the top brass should just walk out on President Obama, throw their stars down, and Ducey's sort of like, huh, that doesn't sound exactly right.
I'm not getting in on
I
that.
don't know if I'm going to jump in on that. Elizabeth Hasselbeck is noticing in the corner of her eye that the cameraman on camera 2 looks like he has a sniffle. So she's worried about Ebola. And then she catches a graphic for the next segment, and there's a guy with a turban, so then she gets scared of that. She doesn't know what's going on. And Kilmeade, almost on the border of like calling for a coup or something. I mean, is that the line of thought he's going on? Is playing himself on Saturday Night Live, basically being like, one time on Saturday Night Live, they had the Kilmeade guy who played Kilmeade say that he walked around Midtown trying to get on Cash Cab by walking into random cabs. Kilmeade had that level of just sort of transcendent stupidity that even Steve Ducey had to reel him back in. Amazing.